If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. What a perfect way to tie everything in. It's like putting a little bow on it for the mainstream media, for the elites, or whatever you want to call them, the Illuminati, these Satanists who always have to tie an agenda into an agenda into an agenda. Well, how perfect is this that now you're hearing repetition and pattern coming out to remind everybody about the dangers of owning your own gun and what can happen, and they're tying it into the C-19 because people are refusing to wear masks. Suddenly, we have events occurring where people are told to put on a mask if they want to enter a store, and instead of putting on the mask, they decide to commit murder. Makes perfect sense, right? Take a look.
Over wearing masks gets deadly at a Family Dollar store in Michigan. 3 people charged with killing a security guard who police say had asked a customer to wear a state-mandated face mask. It's unclear if the 3 defendants have entered pleas. The guard's uncle couldn't make sense of it.
My nephew lost his life trying to help save lives.
At this Waffle House in Aurora, Colorado, police say a man threatened a cook who refused to serve him because he wasn't wearing a mask. Police say the man returned later wearing a mask and shot the cook after the cook refused to serve him again. The man is charged with attempted first-degree murder. He has not yet entered a plea. At a Publix grocery store in Miami Beach earlier this month, this was the scene when a man was not let in because he wasn't wearing a mask.
For violation of my constitutional rights and my civil rights.
Miami Beach police tell CNN this video was captured on a code enforcement officer's body camera.
There's no pandemic. I'm filing a lawsuit.
The sign on the store's front door clearly says customers have to cover their mouths and noses. CNN reached out to Publix for comment and more information on the incident, like what precipitated it. We didn't hear back from them. Miami Beach police did not have information on what started the confrontation, but told CNN no arrests were made. Tension, confrontation, and violence seem to have escalated in recent weeks as businesses have opened up and customers have brushed back on the rules requiring face masks.
And it's frightening. A lot of these stores are trying to follow the rules and regulations that have been placed out there, but without additional security, it's become very difficult for them. People are angry, people are frustrated. What this means for individual businesses, it puts them and their employees at a greater risk.
This is what you call Psy right? What do they do that on Sesame Street? Let's all say it together. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Psyop, the word of the day. Yes, I'm sure that for no reason whatsoever, these people were trying to go to places such as Waffle House and Family Dollar. They decided, you know what? I'm ready to spend the rest of my life in jail because I don't want to put on the mask that they're making mandatory, so I'm going to commit what is known as murder, right? Of course. These are the stories that are popping up, right? Because remember, as they ease the tension off of this, they're not going to take a full ease and everything's going to be dropped. The social distancing is still going to be occurring. They're still not going to be letting people into sports stadiums and concerts and casinos. They're still going to be warning people. They're still going to come out with stories about how it's, one state's higher than the other. All this crap that they're going to continue to spread on everybody to keep everyone living in fear. But they also have to remember they have other agendas in hand here. They can't just ease their foot off of getting rid of the Second Amendment because they still want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to remove all guns from people's homes so that the only people who are armed are your military and your and your police officers who are all working for your government against you, whether they even realize it or not. Now, we're supposed to trust in these people, right? But it's being more and more exposed that these people are Freemasons. The police force are involved in Freemasonry. They take an oath of brotherhood, and we're supposed to leave them armed and us unarmed. Thus, they create these events where they continue to remind people that, ooh, boy, people out there are dangerous. Like, we're really supposed to believe that somebody would, say there's a 40-year-old man, he spent 40 years here on Earth, and suddenly he's decided he's going to throw his whole life away to go live in a prison because a man asked him to put on a mask and said, you can't enter Family Dollar without it. Now, they're also using this for other reasons because there are a lot of people who do not want to wear a mask because a lot of people know that there's nothing going on. And of course, we've heard people backtrack on the importance of a mask, right? Fauci came out originally and said the mask is actually worse. We've had doctors tell us that it's actually worse to have the mask on, health-wise, for people, for their immune systems and whatnot. And then they flip-flop and say that everybody needs to wear one, and nobody blinks an eye and says, wait a minute, a month ago you said we didn't need to. If you're an expert in your field and you're the one we're trusting and putting all our trust in, how in the world could you take something as basic as that and then flip-flop on it, right? Nobody asked any questions about it. So there is a ton of pushback because certain states have made it mandatory that you can't go into a store without the mask on. And people are saying this violates my own rights. This violates the Constitution. Because it does. It does. And it's ridiculous that some states have this mandatory rule in place, even though there are people who are ignoring it. One of the funniest things with the mask is in New York, they're opening beaches, right, for Memorial Day weekend. However, they're not letting you go in the water, even though they told us that the water was safe, that you can't transmit it through water. And of course, salt water is safe. And if you're on the beach, you have to have the mask on. So even out in the middle of nature and the windy beach, you must keep your mask on, or you're going to be thrown off. They said the police will throw you off the beach if you don't have your mask on. So they're using this pushback because people are pretty much giving them the middle finger and saying, we're not listening to this. We're not dealing with this anymore. You haven't proven to us that this is real. There's too much crap floating around about whether we need masks or not. There's too much crap floating around about the CDC and the death certificates. And more and more people are waking up every day because they're saying, look, I haven't seen any testing going on. I haven't seen anyone in my neighborhood get it. I've heard whispers of somebody who's 80 years old and probably had pneumonia or respiratory issues dying of it, which is common, and then they just put it on the death certificate. So you know what? We don't want this, and we're going to push back against it. So what do? They say, all right, well, we can use this to our advantage. Let's tie in people who are resisting doing this and how they're such horrible people. They're shooting people. They're literally pulling out guns at places like Waffle House because a person that they've never met before in their life, who's an employee there, who really has no choice in the matter because he's getting orders from his boss. He's not the governor. It's getting passed down from the government all the way down to these places that are operating. They're saying, look, if you're operating, you have to have the masks, everyone has to have a mask who comes into the store. Then they tell some low-level employee who's standing by the door, they don't have to let anyone in unless they have it on. And somebody's literally, their brain isn't functioning to the point where they will go, how dare you tell me? And they pull out a gun, and one guy leaves and is so outraged he comes back later. I mean, you're telling me we're supposed to buy this? The guy leaves. He walks it off, and he goes, you know what? This guy told me I got to wear a mask, so I'm going to go and I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to spend the next 50 years in jail over it. I don't know who he is. I've never met him before, but he's being demanded. His brain doesn't 1 second go, you know what? It's not that guy's fault. It's the government's fault. We're supposed to believe that? I mean, I know that we're living in a time period where everybody's really, really dumb. That's pretty clear. But are they that dumb? I don't know about that. So PSYOPs continue to happen. You're going to hear more and more. I guarantee you this summer, there's going to be more and more PSYOPs that will involve getting rid of the Second Amendment. Remember, still stripping the First Amendment. Your right to protest peacefully is getting stripped along with your right to free speech. And of course, by mixing it in with citizens who are protesting the government orders, they're also causing division among citizens, right? Because what we hear is, well, half the people, don't think we should open up stores and beaches, and half think we do. And then they're kind of tying it into, well, the left thinks that we should still stay home because the celebrities are the ones influencing them. And the right are the people who are trying to say, we're going to get out there anyway. We don't care. We'll make people sick. We don't care. Right? And they cause division amongst us. So there's going to be many, many psyops this summer. You can count on it, involving the Second Amendment, because they took too many months off. And what were they supposed to do? Right? They couldn't come out with these fake stories since everybody's supposedly quarantined. But now as they're easing the restrictions, boom, the first weekend, the first couple days, these stories just start to leak out. And they won't be able to use schools because most of the schools are still closed. So why not use public places like malls, restaurants, places that people normally feel safe, and that way they can continue to cause more fear with this and get more and more people to want the Second Amendment to be ripped up. That's how they work. That's how they operate. They keep you living in a constant state of fear, and they're constantly stripping us of our rights as citizens in this country, and it's absolutely sickening. I want to thank everyone for listening to today's show. A reminder, please check out my website at callforanuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. You can share information over there. Anything you see going on in your town, your own videos, anything, interact with each other. Again, I've said it a million times here on YouTube. A lot of you guys post comments. They go into spam. I don't delete them, but I get told that the people will comment. They go, "Why are you deleting my comments?" Well, you got to talk to the algorithm because some word you put in there, it didn't like, and they don't like links shared. So on the website, you can share all that stuff in the forum. So check it out if you haven't. And I want to thank everybody out there who's a Patreon. It's really important. It helps this YouTube channel. So thank you all so much. And again, if you want to help in other ways, you can check out the Teespring store, or just watching some of the ads in the videos helps the channel go a long way, or just thumbsing up the videos so that more and more people can see them. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. God bless you and your families.